everyone, welcome back. This is the first part of this build series. It's a two-part series of the fairy village that I've created. I was going to originally put it in one big video, but it was going to be way too long. Like, I managed to get this one down to 30 minutes. I know that's a bit long already, but I think all the important stuff is included in this one. So, yeah. But it's not a full village. It's just a few houses in a small little area that we're building right now. But I really quite liked it, and the different houses that we build are so cute and unique in their own way that I just, yeah, maybe in the future I'll build more onto it. But what we did in this, I really quite liked, and yeah, I think it's a nice little area that has character. But in this area mainly, I created this previously, and I was like, this is quite interesting, I like it. And then I took a screenshot and did it again over here. So it's actually, the original build is actually like probably 100 tiles to the right. And I built it and I was like, yeah, that looks good. Let's do a village. So yeah, that was my reference, and that's what I'm referencing here when I'm building it now. I took a screenshot and then I'm referencing it. So in parts, I may like pause or get rid of things that I don't like because it's not what it'll look like in the screenshot. And unfortunately, lily pads, what they show up as, they're based on the tile. It's you can't choose what's going to come down. So what I built to the right looks a certain way, but then what came up here is a little different based on, lily pads not exactly being what they would be here. So I'm also like trying to place things in the same areas because it looked good. But we do change up a few things, but mainly the placement of the daisies. As you can see here, I'm like carefully seeing where I need to place it. We do switch up some of the placements of things, and the fences later we do change up because I kind of hated them after a while. But yeah, I really, really like the daisy flooring. From the Easter seasonal event. It's really quite nice. And I do wish, because on these floor pillows, like you can see there's a clear, it's not got a frilly outline all the way around. It's got it's facing a certain way. So when you place it, not facing that upwards fashion and you instead place it on the left like I did, it kind of looks like it needs to be rotated. And like, as I've said in a previous thing, like you can change a cooking pot and rotate it many different ways and it still looks the same. But in this case, you can't rotate a floor pillow, and it does make a difference because I don't want it to face towards the bush. I want it to face towards the trees. So yeah, I don't, or at least I wish the frill went all the way around and then it wouldn't make a difference. But here I'm putting egg lamps behind the columns, and only in that section because I really like the light that it puts there. I do wish we could paint the egg lamps. That would be cool. Like, that would be really cool if I could change the color, because then I could make it purple, I could make it pink, I could make it green, whatever. I could make it red and make it real spooky. So I think that should be a cool thing that they should implement. I changed the loose flooring here, and then I'm like, wait a second, no, it is daisy flooring. What am I doing? But I put loose flooring under almost all of the bush, and painted it green because it makes it look like there's a little bit of moss underneath it. It gives the grass more character. more texture as well. And then I always put the roofing tile over certain areas, always over the columns, and then also over the floor pillows, and then sometimes, not all of them, but sometimes I put the, what's it called, roofing gadget over the bushes. But this is a bug that I had, and I made sure to check it if I was on God mode as well, but when putting the fence, like, you can put a fence underneath the column, and it removes the column, and then, like, it had the blue tile. Like, I was so confused. But yeah, as you can see, I'm like, okay, I hate this fence. But yeah, so we've got coral fence going down now, and I think it just gives more of that fantasy fairy vibe, especially since I was putting coral in the other places. So yeah, it just made sense to have all the fences linking up together. And we use coral again later, so yeah, I'm just putting the roofing gadget, again, my favorite tool, to make the fences stand out and it doesn't look like it's so much in the dark. And I did put some of the what's it called, the critters down, the flying critters. So I didn't just put butterflies and stuff like that. I did put a lot of the other bugs from, like, the passage and the crystal frontier down. So it's not just butterflies. But this area here, this is all completely new. So this is not from the screenshot at all. We've now moved on to me just being like, I want to use the paradise tree. I really did want to use it, and I was like, oh, maybe I don't use the paradise fruit, but it goes so well and it does look like fairy food, so I thought it would work really good. But I thought that the area was quite small with the tree, and I wanted to have some seating areas around it, so I did make the area bigger here. But yeah, I really wanted to make sure that, yeah, I wanted to make sure that it wasn't, like, so big that it was taking up all of the room, but I also wanted to make sure that yeah, there was space to sit down. So yeah, it wasn't overbearing on the already trees down below. So yeah, and I thought that this was, this could be where fairies are made. So just like in Tinkerbell. If you know, you know. But yeah, so we're just making this area as light as possible because that tree is so big and it does have a lot of shadows. And I was originally going to put down the wooden stools, but I thought that the Easter stools looked quite good. And then we use a mix of loose flooring and obviously the daisy flooring later. But yeah, I really love painting the loose flooring green on the grass ground and also the turf ground. It just gives such good texture, and it works so well. And I paint the stone lantern from the passage a mix of peach and green. I think it goes really well. It looks quite natural, to be honest. There is my new favorite word, my keyword. But yeah, and I want to make sure that that it still looks like it's implemented into the world. So I do put some bushes down, and then I will be putting down some fence as well to make sure that it is like sectioned off. And I was going to put a floor pillow, but I was like, I feel like it's too claustrophobic, like it was just too much stuff. But yeah, it looks like little stepping stones on the turf ground. So I thought it was really cute. And then obviously on the grass ground, it just looks more integrated. I don't know. But here we are making the entrance to, well, not the entrance, but like a path, I guess, to the Fairy Village. What am I trying to think of? Yeah, the Fairy Village. And this is actually based off a build. So there, you just saw it briefly. That section, that square on the map there, that was my previous build. That was the screenshot of that tree area in the middle, the tree island. But this is based off another build that I helped someone fix for their world, and I have referenced a few times in my base building videos. But basically, I use this, and a few of you will be like, oh my god, it's so off center. But by the time I realized, it was too late, and I do apologize in advance. It does hurt my brain a little bit, but I also just don't look at the map and then I'm okay. But here I'm looking at my screenshot of it because I actually went up and I took a screenshot of where I placed the tiles because they looked really good. And I wanted to make sure that I was not like completely copying it, but yeah, I really enjoyed the decoration of it. So yeah, I am just going through and making sure that everything is in the right place. I do end up miscounting. It's it's occupational hazard, I guess. But yeah, I miscount and then I have to go back and fix it. I'm pretty sure I cut that out because I was like, oh no, what have I done? But yeah, I just go through and I really like the look of the grim floor underneath the broken caveling tiles. So I'm using a mix of the light caveling tiles and the dark broken caveling tiles. So then the grimy floor comes through and it looks, and then I'm also using the turf ground underneath, so it just looks like the ground is kind of broken up. So yeah, it starts off pretty dark, which is a big contrast compared to obviously the light and fairy part over on the left, but we do get there. I think it's hard to see right now, obviously, but but yeah, here we're doing a bench. What am I saying? We're doing a bridge. And I like to use a contrast of colors when I'm doing my bridge because I want to, I want the viewer and myself to know that this is a bridge. And we're bringing back the coral fence as well. And I do realize, how are people going to get to the place if there's a gate right where the water is? Like, it just doesn't make any sense. So I removed it, and now we're adding a section for where the greenery is going to be. So this is where I put a lot of the azaleas trees and bushes, and also some boxes and flowers. It just full decoration basically. And I wanted to fill the pit as well with some abyss trees, and I also end up using the passage fossils as well. So we go through and get that all sorted. I didn't want to do too much, but I did want to make it feel like, this is a little island. And we are now putting down the stone lanterns, one of my favorites, for light, and we will be painting them as well, so they won't have this teal color the whole time. But as you can see there's the abyss trees and the fossil stalagmites as well, and we are putting it 4 in between. And as you can probably tell, there's more on this side than the other, which makes it uneven. Yes, I do apologize. But we are going to test some colors. So I go with originally an orange and yellow look. I know in my other videos I have said that I hate the yellow. And there it is. I did it once and I was like, no, not for me. Um, but we go for an orange and peach color originally, like alternating between each one. I wanted to see, because the yellow, like, people would associate yellow and pink and all these light colors with fairies. But I wanted to see if I would actually like it. Turns out I definitely don't. Yellow is not for me. So I went with peach and purple, and it was looking quite dark, so I did in the middle put the teal. I think I do end up changing that. It won't be until the next video, but I did a lot of testing to see if it worked, and I felt like it was just too disjointed. So I do think that we change it later. Not sure. Might be in the thumbnail. So we'll see. But yeah, I tried to make the bridge look a bit more like, this is the centerpiece. But then it made it too bright. So I was like, oh no, never mind. And the white painted loose flooring makes it look like a path, which is perfect. So that's what I did. And we're putting this wood bridge down as almost like a divider. And that's where the fence will go to section each side. But now we are finally decorating this greenery on each side. I do skip a lot of it just because it is the same thing basically just over and over again. So I didn't want, it to be a long video. But yeah, it's just me putting down bushes, trees, loose flooring, daisy flooring, and we do end up using one clay pot, two clay pots I think. Yeah, because they looked like little jug things and it was very cute. But yeah, we used the what's it called? The boxes with the foliage coming out of them, because they just looked like they fit, and I really enjoy those flowers. So it's just my inventory being too small basically. I wish there was a bigger amount. But we used the desert rocks as well because I feel like they just work so perfectly. But yeah, as here, I'm referencing a photo, and that's why it's taking so long for me to place things down. Usually I'm just like bam, 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 place. But yeah, I wanted it to look good, and in my previous build I had made it look really good, and so I just wanted to make sure it not looked exactly the same, but yeah, the way that I had placed it before was pretty nice. So yeah, but yeah, so I just wanted to make sure that, not that it looked perfect, but it just looked nice. I don't know. Weird sense of perfectionism with my building, but yeah, I finished that up and just went through with all my roofing gadget stuff, and I like to do one on the left, one in the middle, and one on the right with the trees, because it does a nice little shadow, as you can see there at the bottom. But yeah, that's as much that I do with the trees. I don't like to do a full section, but sometimes I just do one and just in the middle, but otherwise I do the three so that it gives that nice little floral effect around it. But coming up, I make a mistake and forgot that we have a bridge here and water goes under bridges and escapes. So I'm, doing my thing, putting the walls down, putting the roofing gadget down, And then I see this. There is a leakage, and I fix it. I do fix it, but it happened on both sides, and I was like, oh no, oh no. And then I realized, oh wait, it's creative mode and it's okay. I can just put this all down, not a problem. But it was giving me PTSD from when this leakage happened in my main world. And there's no tool to like vacuum up all the water, which would be real nice. Like, it would be so nice if that happened. But no, unfortunately not. But I did have a freak out moment for a second. I was like, oh no, please. But we fixed it. It's okay. And the walls are finally going down for the first part of the village. So we have, I think, 6 rooms on this side, and then 6 rooms or 5 rooms on the other side. So we do just put some flooring down. I do mix it up with the flooring painted grey as well, because it's almost like the white ones, but they face a different way. So I thought I'd mix it up doing it like that. And I also, I think I change a few of them later anyways, based on where I put the doors for some places. But we're putting the fence down here, and we paint it white so that it looks like a cute little white picket fence. And I really, really, really like the effect of the stone lanterns on the fence, like that purple and peach color. Like, I'm admiring it right now. But I thought it was so perfect. But we wanted to, why am I saying we? I wanted to have a gap in the middle of where the rooms would be, and I felt like the rooms would be quite small, but then some of them would be quite big depending on like the rank of that fairy. Yeah, me just coming up with a story right here. But not all, rooms were going to be the same size or the same kind as well. I really wanted to make sure that they were all quite unique. There's some that don't look like they're for, a fairy. They're more like a storage room, which I think we do it down the bottom. But the decorating of the rooms are not till the second video, so you are going to have to wait for that. Mainly it's just building in this one. Obviously we did do the decoration of like the what's it called, of the greenery where the walkway is. However, kind of don't want to leave that blank. I don't want to leave that till the second video. So yeah, I will do a little bit of decoration in this video so that we can have a lot of decoration in the second video. Keep everyone happy, have a lot of building in this one, so, and then a little bit of decoration, and then more. Do we do more building? I don't know. I don't think so. I think it's mainly just decoration in the second one. But that depends if I built the rooms of the below. I don't think I did. So maybe there is a little bit of building in the second one. It's been so long since I built these, so it's terrible, I know. But we we made this one real tiny, but I really quite like the decoration that I did for it, so it's not too bad. And then the doors I painted peach on the other side, and I was going to do different colors this side, but then I decided no, I'll just leave it peach for now, and we can always change it because it's got this nice little picnic style on the doors. So yeah, I decided to keep it all together. But I also wanted to do another, style thing up here, and have a little waypoint with a bunch of trees, which I did test this previously as well, with how all the different trees work together. I didn't use any of the kelp trees, I don't think. I just used the lush tree, the meadow tree, desert shrub tree, the 2 cherry blossom trees, and the passage tree. I was going to use the paradise tree again, but I didn't end up doing that, so we just kept it as it is. And yeah, I think it turned out quite well. I think the trees worked really well together. Used a lot of the cherry trees, cherry blossom trees. They just, they take up a lot of room and they're very beautiful. But yeah, I put in the meadow trees for a pop of color. I wasn't sure 100%, but I thought that the passage trees looked really nice with the little bulbs hanging off them. And with the, the waypoint, it looks quite magical as well. So we kept that in there. And we do end up using some stone lanterns as some light, as we can see here. I originally painted them both peach, but I think we go with a peach and a white. I'm not sure if I end up changing that later, because I thought that the white was quite out there. Yeah. I think that, yeah, we go with the peach and a white, but then the white is behind the trees and then the peach is out in the front. So, yeah. But I'm doing something that I really quite enjoyed doing in in my main world at the moment. I created this kind of circle of circle around my core, and used meadow as the outside path and then grass ground is the middle. And because I have Easter on, that's why I have these, decorational daisies on the floor or on the ground. So I already have ground that comes with daisies on it, but then adding daisies as well makes it look good too. So I do that and it looks really quite nice. Like, the meadow ground breaks it up. It's not just purely grass ground. And then also I put the loose flooring on it and paint it yellow, and it gives a really nice texture to it as well. So I just mix it up between daisy flooring and the loose flooring to make a nice path. And I did use those rose petals from the Valentine's Day event to put underneath the cherry blossom trees, because I feel like they go well with it, like so well with it. But yeah, as you can see, like, you can barely see because I'm unfortunately on my low light character, but the yellow painted loose flooring on the meadow ground makes it look, a bit more used, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, it makes it look more like a path instead of just ground. But basically here, I don't put it in, but those sections that I put on the left and the right with the dirt ground, we end up making some cool little pillars, and you'll see it in the next video. But I really quite liked what I did. But we're coming to the end, so I'll see you in the next one, and I hope you enjoy. Bye bye.